a more fundamental issue, the battle for narrative, the allegations of rhetoric. Why we're saying this is because every month in the recent past, there has been a fresh furore over a new film. The latest is 72 Hoorain or 72 Angels being made on the issue of terrorism. But the film has run into repeated controversy. From a controversy over its trailer to now its very intent being questioned. Some have accused the film of being a propaganda vehicle, an RSS project, while others have gone a step further and said that this is only meant to demonize and insult a certain religion. Meanwhile, the makers today previewed their film in JNU before its release later this week. They claim their narrative is only about speaking the truth, which otherwise would be brushed under the carpet. So what is the reality behind the timing and the intent of 72 Hoorain? Let's take it across to the guests who are joining us now. Ashoke Pandit, who is the co-producer. Sanjay P S, who is the director of the film. Captain Gulab Singh Tanwar, who is the producer. And Pavan Malhotra, who is the actor. Also joining them is Saira Shah Halim activist, Nilanjan Das and Abdul Razak Khan, both political analysts. But I want to start with you first, Mr. Ashoke Pandit. Why now? Why suddenly the desire to talk about 72 Hoorain? Hardly anyone talks about things like this. So why make a film about it?
Well, my answer is very clear and straight that why not now? This film, Padmaja, is based on terrorism. It condemns terrorism and it raises a lot of questions on those people who are responsible for this terrorism, who are responsible for radicalization, who are responsible for converting people, the youths who seek great future into this profession of terrorism, business of terrorism, and they lose their lives. So Sanjay P S Chauhan as a director has we all together have raised this very important issue where now, and since long time, the entire world is suffering from this disease called cancer, this disease called terrorism. And I, being myself the victim of terrorism in Kashmir, I can identify with this entire issue. So this straight, we would like to tell all your viewers that this film is nothing to do with any religion, because terrorism has no religion. We are exposing all those forces who lie, who speak lies to the youths of this country, youths all over the world, and put them into this profession. But their own children are studying abroad, but they are capturing all those youngsters and youths, and they are diverting their minds towards this profession of terrorism and seeing to that so
here's the thing, when you talk about terrorism, okay, you say that, okay, people make documentaries also. There were n number of documentaries made about 9/11, about 26/11, about, Guantanamo, about what happened, the Boston bombing, for example. But when you bring in 72 Hoorain, it almost seems like you're bringing in a religious aspect. So what was the need? What was the thought behind it? How did it start? Is it just like you're sitting one day and you thought, अब हम उसको 72 हूरों की बात करते हैं?
देखिए, टेररिज्म हमने इस कंट्री में जितना फेस किया है, तो इस बात को ये कहना कि इसके ऊपर आप इसके सारे पहलुओं को, बिकॉज बहुत सारी फिल्म्स बनी हैं जो अलग अलग तरीके से एक्सप्लोर करते हैं, लेकिन ये फिल्म सिर्फ उस चीज़ की बात करती है कि किस तरीके से कुछ लोगों को लाया जाता है, मैनिपुलेट किया जाता है और तैयार किया जाता है सुसाइड बॉम्बर्स में. तो वो जो मेथोडोलॉजी इस्तेमाल की जाती है उसमें कहीं पर सबसे बड़ा रोल जो प्ले करते हैं, उनको ये कहा जाता है कि जब आपको शहादत मिलेगी तो आपको जन्नत नसीब होगी, और जन्नत में हूरों का कॉन्सेप्ट दिया जाता है. तो ये सिर्फ उसी चीज को एक्सप्लोर कर रही है, क्योंकि ये सबसे, अगर आप कहीं भी देखते हैं जो फेमस टेररिस्ट रहे हैं जिनको अरेस्ट किया गया है या उनके कन्फेशन वीडियोस हैं इस तरीके, उसमें उन्होंने इस बात का जिक्र किया है कि 72 हूरों का, कि जब जन्नत में जाओगे तो आपको 72 हूरें मिलेंगी. ये सिर्फ उसी वजह से इस फिल्म का टाइटल है, और ये उसी कॉन्सेप्ट को एक्सप्लोर कर रही है जो ऑलरेडी उनके जहन में रखा गया है और उनको बेचा गया है ओवर पीरियड ऑफ टाइम लगातार. और इस तरीके की चीजें आप आमतौर पर वीडियोज में और बहुत सारे प्लेटफॉर्म्स के ऊपर अवेलेबल है. ऐसा नहीं है कि ये कोई नई चीज हम बता रहे हैं ये, लेकिन जैसे ही ये फिल्म की फॉर्म में आई, लोग इसके बारे में बातें करने लगे. और इंटेंट के ऊपर जो है वो शक होने लगा उनको कि आप रिलीजन को टारगेट कर रहे हो, जबकि ट्रेलर से, पोस्टर से लेके हर चीज पर सिर्फ और सिर्फ टेररिज्म की बात हो रही है।
पर 72 हूरों पे कोई आपको लगता नहीं है कि रिलीजियस एंगल है पवन जी? नो रिलीजियस एंगल। हाउ कैन समबडी बी एक्सपेक्टेड टू बिलीव कि आप उनके रिलीजन को टारगेट नहीं कर रहे हैं, जबकि जो स्लोगन बोला गया है, जो मैंने ट्रेलर में सो फार देखा है, उसमें आप एक रिलीजियस स्लोगन बोल रहे हो। फिर 72 हूरों की भी बात आ जाती है।
देखिए, बहुत साल पहले एक टेररिस्ट फिल्म भी बनी थी, टेररिज्म पे आप फिल्म बना रहे हैं, और ऐसा तो नहीं है कि जो हम टेररिज्म के खिलाफ ही बात कर रहे हैं, पर जिस धागे को पकड़ के हम चल रहे हैं, ऐसा तो नहीं कि ये हुआ ही नहीं है कभी। और अगर कोई जुटलाना चाहता है तो मैं उस पर बहस नहीं कर सकता हूँ, कि अगर आपने मानना ही नहीं है तो। और अभी जैसे फिल्म आई है एक अकेला आदमी काफी है ना, या आश्रम है, या बहुत सारी फिल्में ऑनर किलिंग पे बनी है, तो आई सपोर्ट दीज काइंड ऑफ फिल्म। मैंने तो ब्लैक फ्राइडे की थी, ब्लैक फ्राइडे पर भी ऑब्जेक्शन थी, 2 साल बंद रही थी। सलीम लंगड़े पे मत रो भी की, अब सलीम लंगड़े में अगर कोई, मैं बार बार कहता हूं, not so much what Salim, but what the other character, the brother-in-law, जो राजेंद्र गुप्ता played, what he says, that's the film. पढ़ो लिखो, या when he says मैं फंस गया, मैं निकलना चाहता हूं, तो वो चूज कर रहे हैं किसको क्या करना। पर आप पहले फिल्म तो देख लीजिए, बिना फिल्म देखे क्यों, क्या प्रॉब्लम है? और अगर कोई ये कहता है कि नहीं मुझे दिक्कत है, हम तो टेररिज्म के खिलाफ बोल रहे हैं ना, कि किलिंग इनोसेंट पीपल इज रॉन्ग। दैट्स व्हाट, जब मैं स्क्रिप्ट पर सुनाई गई मुझे या पढ़ता हूं, तो मैं हाँ इसलिए बोलता हूं बिकॉज व्हाट आई सी इन इट, दैट इफ यू किल इनोसेंट पीपल यू विल नॉट गेट एनी स्वर्ग और जन्नत। दिस इज व्हाट आई सी इन द स्क्रिप्ट एंड आई सपोर्ट दैट आइडिया, एंड आई डोंट एक्सपेक्ट एनी इंटेलिजेंट पर्सन to support that anybody goes and just kill people. And people should understand, when Kasab comes to VT and just go da 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 da, or in Taj or in Obroes or Leopold, is he asking what religion you are, what religion? He's just killing people. People are being killed. Is people dying? So I'm just.
So what is your research material? Is there any documented evidence that people are indeed told that they are going to get 72 hure if they die in a certain way, or if they carry out a terror act?
You're saying that you don't.
Where did you get
you've never heard or never.
See, I mean, I will go beyond social media, क्योंकि आपने research किए, so I am genuinely curious to know, is there any research, documented research that you got?
तो खैर राइटर और डायरेक्टर ने की है, and of course we have seen YouTubes and all, and then Amir Bashir was with me in this film. He is rather. So I know कि यार मैं sorts of films I've done, films like Dawn and Judwa, those kind of films, Pardesh also, but at the same time my good body of work has been socially relevant films which make you think. मैं तो Children of War भी की है बांग्लादेश में. I played a Pakistani army officer which is out and negative. उसमें भी कुछ लोगों को दिक्कत थी, but फारूक शेख साहब मेरे साथ सीन कर रहे थे.
Padmaja, you said a lot of people, we have been accused of being propagandists and Islamophobia, and we are targeting our religion and all that. I think all those people who are blaming us, whether they blamed earlier films also, your line is saying about Kashmir Files or about...
Exactly, because the reason why we did that is because it is all happening in such quick succession.
So
Pehle you bring in Kashmir Files, Kerala story, this.
No, bring in Kashmir Files. This film in 19... If he may got an award,
he got a national award.
So
2019.
कहीं भी Horizon में कश्मीर फाइल और Kerala story was not there.
No, but Pavanji, it's having said that, I really can't understand why these films should not be made. My contention is that all those people who are being accusing us, blaming Sanjay, all of us, that it's a propaganda film. This propaganda word is used by those people who are themselves biggest propagandists of a particular narrative. It is the first time that makers like Vivek, like Sanjay, like Sudipto, Vipul, all of us, we have got together and we are sincerely trying to expose all those. Terrorism is a subject which everybody is talking about. Terrorism is a subject which every individual is suffering, all the entire world is suffering. So if Sanjay, as a maker, as a writer, of all of us, we think, let us expose 1, 2, 3, 4. You call Bhattarure propaganda, you call Kashmir Files propaganda, you call Kerala Story propaganda, because there is first time that a separate narrative is standing against you. आप लोगों ने अपने narrative को
नहीं है कि narrative तब हो रहा है जब बीजेपी की सरकार है, तब suddenly सब लोग जाके कह रहे हैं कि भाई 72 हो रही है।
ब्लैक फ्राइडे तो बीजेपी की सरकार नहीं थी,
इसमें सरकार से कोई लेना देना नहीं है।
बट वो टेररिज्म के ऊपर थी, क्योंकि मुंबई ब्लास्ट हुआ था। ये किसी एक ब्लास्ट के ऊपर नहीं है, ये सिर्फ आप एक पूरा ओवरऑल टेररिज्म और कैसे रिलीजन में उसकी रूट्स है।
तो मैं इंडिया की सिर्फ बात नहीं कर रहा हूं, दुनिया में ब्लास्ट हुए हैं कि नहीं हुए हैं, या हो रहे हैं कि नहीं हो रहे।
So, but Padmaja, the important thing here is what Sanjay also and all of us we think is that why are you feeling so insecure? Why are these people who are accusing us of being propaganda? This is happening. If some foreign filmmaker comes on our stage and he abuses us and he accuses us of being propaganda, this film is a trash. They abuse us and they go away. I am not bothered about that, man. People in our own country, there are filmmakers who have got maximum popularity, maximum beneficiaries and everything, because there is a separate narrative standing. Shikara was made that justified terrorism. Mission Kashmir was made that justified terrorism. So we didn't say that, why did you do that? We are trying to make a film. We are trying to make a film which exposes. We are trying to help the society. We are trying to expose all those forces who are in a way standing by terrorism and supporting terrorism. If they are supporting terrorism, that's why they are abusing us. Otherwise, what is the reason?
Sara Shah Halim, is there any bad time to start talking about terrorism? At a time when we are seeing riots happening in France, they are spreading to Belgium. At a time when we are seeing lone wolf attacks take place in London, in different parts of Europe, is there any harm in talking about an issue as grave as terrorism? It affects all of us.
Yes. So good evening. Firstly, CBFC has termed the film as misleading, because here you are trying to create a narrative by making out films like Kashmir Files, by taking out Kerala Story, now 72 Hoorain. It looks evident that this is, a group of people who are working in tandem with a particular political party to spread hatred and propaganda in the country, because that will manifest into riots. It will manifest into chaos, and that will ultimately result in the ballot box.
Kashmir Files or Kerala Story.
It is unfortunate that the creators...
Ma'am, that's actually a very grave thing, because you are browbeating people who are just making a film.
We have seen the kind of violence.
Saying कि आप film बनाओगे तो riots हो जाएंगे. How many riots happened after Kerala Story?
Padmaja, I take a very strong objection to accuse a film like Kashmir Files, because the Kashmir Files was made on the genocide and ethnic cleansing of me. I am a part and I am a victim of the terrorism and genocide and ethnic cleansing of Kashmir.
Great.
How can you abuse that filmmaker? How can you accuse that film?
Yes.
And how can you accuse Kerala Story? Because that film is saying the truth. The problem is that your narrative is being destroyed. You people have spread a kind of a narrative of all negative things in the country. So that's why you people are feeling insecure.
I don't like
you people are feeling unsettled. The problem with you please don't accuse us and don't abuse us of being propagandists or being a wrong filmmaker.
Okay,
I do not like this.
Don't question our integrity and genuinity as filmmakers, please.
Okay, Ashok ji, let her respond.
Personal attack.
So is there nervousness at a narrative being challenged?
The way Mr. Ashoke Pandit is behaving, it totally proves how much hatred he has for the minorities of his own country. The way he is behaving with me and trying to threaten a panelist on the show and literally,
okay, ma'am, can we stick to the topic? I think it's a little unfair to make this personal.
The kind of movies,
the question is very simple.
That these people are making is just going to fan communal hatred in the country.
How?
As it is, we know, because of a particular political party, how much divisive the country has become.
Ma'am, that would then apply to any work of fiction.
They are creating such fake narratives.
If you have
jihad.
What is fake narrative, Saida ji? What is fake narrative? Is my genocide fake? Is my killing fake? Is my rape fake? Is my exodus fake? Is my ethnic cleansing fake? Why are you saying that the terrorism in this country and the entire world is fake? If you're making a film against terrorism, is it fake? What kind of argument is this, Sara ji?
See, any,
What kind of argument is this?
radical, let me finish.
But please stick to the fact.
I
Let's
agree.
not have
If
generalizations,
any radical
please.
needs to be called out. Do not be myopic.
What
If
is myopic?
you are being myopic. If
On
you're
what?
going to call out radicalization, call out radicalization on both sides of the fence. Make sure you do that. Make sure you have the courage to call out radicalization.
No, we don't need your lectures, what is to be made and what is not to be made.
Okay,
We
hold
don't
on.
need your lectures, we don't need your guidance.
From
We
the
as
political
individual
parties
filmmakers,
that you support,
as individual writers and producers, we know what is to be. आप बनाइए ना. Why don't you make? Why don't you make?
Propaganda.
Don't question our integrity.
Okay, hold on a second.
Please don't question our integrity. We know what we have to make and what we have to release.
Okay.
We know that.
You are
Let's
the film producer. You are the film producer. You are the film producer. You
So-
do your duty. Make sure you make a movie on peace and amity instead of such communal
So
propaganda.
all these films which are
even
made,
CBFC is
all
trying
these
to
films
give
which
us
are made,
certificate.
madam,
What
the
will I
problem
say?
with you is that
What
you
will I
are
say? What will I
negating,
talk?
your mind is closed,
CBFC
your mind is shut,
is
you have stopped
apprehensive of
thinking,
giving
you have
a
refused to
certificate
accept the realities of
on
life.
such a
The problem
propaganda
with you is
film
that.
like 72 Hoorain.
Okay, just a second. Let Captain Gulab Singh Tanwar answer this. Why did you choose only 72 Hoorain? Why did you not choose Sara Shah? हालिम कह रही है आप both sides of the fence. आपको किसी आश्रम के बारे में भी फिल्म बनानी चाहिए थी. अब आप जाकर के किसी गवर्नमेंट पर भी जाकर के बनाइए.
देखिए, एक बार में एक आदमी बहुत सारी फिल्में नहीं बना सकता. एक बार में एक सब्जेक्ट, एक कोई भी टॉपिक, कोई भी एक मुद्दा उसमें फिल्म बनाता है. जरूरी भी नहीं कि किसी मुद्दे पे बनाए. वो रोमांस हो सकता है, वो बायोपिक हो सकता है, वो कुछ भी हो सकता है. और ये उस वक्त क्या मुद्दा आपके सामने लाया जाता है, कौन सा स्टोरी, कौन सा नैरेटिव है जो आपके सामने लाया जाता है. एंड आई पर्सनली फील दैट एज ऑफ नाउ nothing is more important than making everybody aware about the terrorism. And when I got the story, I got the narration from Sanjay, I really liked it.
Tell me, what was the catalyst? Why did you start working on this script only? Was it a video? Was it an event? What was your research? Tell us the depth of this.
सी मैम, जब मैंने और भी फिल्म्स के ऊपर काम किया है. मैंने इससे पहले लाहौर की थी, जो एक अलग तरीके से, वो एक डिफरेंट नैरेटिव था, वो एक अलग समय की कहानी थी. लेकिन इस दौरान चीज़ें बहुत बदली हैं. आप टेररिज्म जो है इतना एक गंभीर मसला है हमारे देश के लिए, तो खासतौर से बहुत ज़्यादा है, और कोई उसके बारे में बात नहीं करता. जो फिल्म्स बनी उन्होंने बहुत सुपरफिशियली उनको टच किया. ये एक बहुत अलग नज़रिया था, क्योंकि ये वो फिल्म की बात है और 7 तारीख को फिल्म रिलीज होने वाली है. उससे पहले मैं बहुत ज्यादा लिबर्टी नहीं ले सकता उसको बताने का. और मुझे ये लगता है कि अब मैं आपकी बात पे आने से पहले ये बता दूं कि ये एक जरूरी फिल्म है, और कम से कम इसे देखने से पहले इसके बारे में कोई जजमेंट नहीं देना चाहिए किसी को कि ये किस इंटेंशन से बनाई गई है. आप सिर्फ एक नाम से देखिए, फिल्म के नाम से, क्योंकि वो जिन जिहादियों की बात हो रही है, जो जिहादिस्ट जिनको इस फिल्म के दिखाया जा रहा है, वो लोग एक पर्टिकुलर तंजीम से जुड़े हुए हैं. और इसकी वजह से वो सर्टेन जो स्लोगन्स हैं वो रेज करते हैं, वो उनका पहनावा, उनके बातचीत का लहजा, वो चीज़ें, अगर वो इस्लामिक तंजीमों से जुड़े हुए हैं जो जिहाद को फ्यूल कर रही हैं और उनके साथ चल रहे हैं, तो वो उसी तरीके की बातें करेंगे. इसीलिए फिल्म का टाइटल भी जो है वो 72 हूर है, क्योंकि कहीं ना कहीं ये देखिए, कोई एक इंपॉर्टेंट बात का जवाब नहीं दे रहा. क्या ये गलत है कि उन लोगों को जन्नत के बारे में बताया जाता है, जन्नत के लिए तैयार किया जाता है, और भी तरीके होंगे जन्नत के, लेकिन जिहाद के लिए भी तैयार किया जाता है, ये भी एक तरीका है. हम सिर्फ उस पहलू के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं. हमने कभी भी ये नहीं कहा कि हम रिलीजन की बात कर रहे हैं या हम उसके एक्सपर्ट हैं, या ये स्कॉलर्स का काम है इसको करने के लिए. और दरअसल मुझे लगता है कि सारे लोग जो इस फिल्म का विरोध कर रहे हैं, उनको कहीं पर उन मौलवीज का, उन मौलानाओं का विरोध करना चाहिए जो जिहाद की तरफ मोड़ रहे हैं उन लोगों को, और 72 हूरों का कॉन्सेप्ट इस तरीके से इस्तेमाल कर रहे हैं.
Abdul Razak Khan, you are talking about how people are creating communal hatred, are sowing the seeds of discord. Yet, you have nothing to say about the fact that the director who's sitting right here has been subjected to relentless threats, actual threats. Why? Because he is making a film. He is being told, तुम्हारा टाइम शुरू हो गया है अब. Other things which are slightly more explicit and vulgar, so I'm not going to read them out. But basically, you are stopping at saying you are a hate monger. Other people are coming and saying we are coming for you.
ये सब इन लोगों का नाटक है. इस मूवी के प्रमोशन के लिए इन लोगों का नाटक है कि इनको डेथ थ्रेट्स मिल रहे हैं. सबसे पहले मैं बता दूं कि देखिए ये वही लोग हैं जो 2019 के चुनाव से पहले एक्सीडेंटल प्राइम मिनिस्टर जैसी एक मूवी लेके आते हैं और अशोक पंडित बीजेपी के स्पोक्स पर्सन है।
Okay. Again, Mr. Khan, do not make personal comments. We are trying to have a civilized debate. Let's keep it topical and not personal.
No, not personal.
Then चार चीजें आपके बारे में बोली जाएंगी. Don't do this.
Madam,
Civilized.
all these scripts come from Nagpur. Madam, all these scripts come from Nagpur. What is the intention of making this movie? Moral science? To make money? What is the intention?
सब सलीम नगर ब्लैक फ्राइडे कहां से आई होगी ये भी बता दीजिए.
Why are you targeting one specific community?
जनाब ये भी बता दीजिए मुझे, ये भी बता दीजिए सलीम नगर और ब्लैक फ्राइडे कहां से लिख के आई होगी.
पैसा नहीं दिया गया.
मैं आपसे पूछ रहा हूं,
आपकी कोई मूवी हिट नहीं हुई है बॉक्स ऑफिस में. आपकी एक बार भी कोई एक मूवी.
मेरी फिल्म,
ये सब आपका प्रोपेगेंडा है.
मेरी फिल्म
विवेक अग्निहोत्री की तरह
आप पवन
पैसा बनाने की.
अरे मेरी बात का जवाब भी दे दीजिए. आप पवन मल्होत्रा से बोल रहे हैं कि मेरी फिल्म हिट नहीं हुई है.
सर
पवन मल्होत्रा से कह रहे हैं हिट नहीं हुई है. सलीम नगड़े पे मत रहो, बहुत बड़ी हिट थी. अपना ज्ञान ठीक करके आइए, जाइए.
देखिए सर,
अपना होमवर्क करके आइए, होमवर्क करके आइए. मेरी पहली फिल्म सलीम नगड़े पे मत रहो बहुत बड़ी हिट थी. ब्लैक फ्राइडे हिट थी, बहुत बड़ी हिट थी.
अरे हटाइए, बचपन से हिंदी पिक्चर देख रहा हूं. बचपन से
अपना होमवर्क करके आइए.
Okay, Mr. Khan, please make a civilized point.
अरे सुन लीजिए.
तो चलिए ये भी हिट नहीं होगी, लोगों को पसंद नहीं आएगी, नहीं देखेंगे.
This is nothing but propaganda. Come on, it hurts. Padmaja ji, this hurts.
Why? Why is it hurting you?
Expressing this. What is the title? Where did they get the title from?
Where did you get the title from means? You don't read, you don't study, you don't watch. Are you an uneducated person? You don't watch what is happening around you? Then there is no point discussing with you and debating with you. Because I didn't know that you are such an uneducated person. Then you don't know what's happening around you. That means you are a totally uneducated person. आपको पता ही नहीं कि देश विदेश में आपके आसपास हो क्या रहा है. आपको पता ही नहीं है कुछ. आप तैयारी करके आए कि अशोक पंडित को कैसे गाली दूं, इनको ये बोलूं कि ये कैसे क्यों है. अरे टेररिज्म है कि नहीं है? आपके अगल बगल में बम फटे कि नहीं फटे? लोगों की जानें गई है कि नहीं गई है? जानता है. ब्लास्ट हुए कि नहीं हुए? लोग मरे कि नहीं मरे? टेररिज्म है कि नहीं है? है कि नहीं टेररिज्म? आपके आसपास के लोग मरे कि नहीं मरे? अब बात क्या कर रहे हैं? जरा कुछ पढ़ लिख लीजिए, कुछ टेलीविजन देख लीजिए, कुछ स्टडी कर लीजिए, कुछ कॉलेज चले जाइए और पढ़ाई कीजिए कुछ थोड़ी बहुत, ताकि आपको समझ आए कि देश विदेश में हो क्या रहा है. आप होम मिनिस्टर आपके साथ बहस करने का भी मन नहीं कर रहा है.
Okay, see, Mr. Khan, again when you get into a personal, but tell me this honestly. बहुत सारे लोग ये कहते हैं कि कई सारी फिल्में हैं जिनकी एक प्री स्क्रीनिंग की जाती है संघ के लिए या बीजेपी के लिए, वो प्री वेट करते हैं. क्या ऐसा होता है?
नहीं, ये बहुत ही बचकाना आर्गुमेंट है पद्मजा. कोई किसी को स्क्रीन नहीं होती है. every individual from this country has a right to see the film. और हमने कोई स्क्रीनिंग कहीं नहीं की है. इनफैक्ट तो हमने कोई प्रेस स्क्रीनिंग भी नहीं की है. We took a call that let people go to the theater and watch the theater. Today is the first time, that is the first screening we did in JNU, because we want to go deep into the students. We are going to other universities, we are going to other colleges, we are approaching the students because we want the youths to fight terrorism. We want youths to not to get into this entire poison where they get killed, where they are being wrongly taught, wrongly educated. We want that youths of this country should get into right perspective development of this country. This country was this great country. We don't want, this film is basically against violence. This film is against bloodshed. This film is against blasts. This film is against killings. This film is against, is for humanity. And then you call such films, which is an honestly, dignifiedly, with conviction, with purity, this film is made, which exposes terrorism. The makers are saying this. We all are saying this. I have fought terrorism from last 35, 36 years. I know what is the impact of terrorism.
At least it will spark a conversation.
See the film first.
Irrespective of whether you agree or disagree with the film, and I said this across the board for all films, including the BBC documentary, even if you don't agree with it, it sparks a conversation. But let me ask you this, Pavanji. Recently we saw again a lot of anger on the other side of the fence about, say, Adipurush. The Allahabad High Court, when it was hearing a plea against Adipurush, said the following: If such type of illegal and immoral acts of the filmmakers are not checked at the earliest, some more film may likely be produced touching sensitive aspects of other religions besides Hindu religion. Now the court is here saying कि about sensitive religious issues, filmmakers should stay away. When it is applying to Adipurush, it can apply to 72 Hoorain also.
Can I answer?
Like one by one.
I don't know about this court thing, but and I've not seen Adipurush, but I've heard कि dialogue में कुछ problem
Correct. और लोग वहाँ पे
I've been
गुस्सा थे कि
shooting.
भाई आपने हनुमान जी को ऐसे क्यों दिखा दिया, आपने प्रभु श्री राम को ऐसा क्यों दिखा दिया.
हाँ.
Similarly, now another community is saying आपने ये हमारा जो concept है उसको ऐसा क्यों दिखा दिया.
पर अगर हम कोई रिलीजियस कमेंट बोल रहे हो तब बात है ना कि अगर इस तरह का इंसिडेंट नहीं हुआ या हुआ उसमें मुझे आदिपुरुष का पता नहीं, इसलिए मैं कमेंट नहीं कर सकता हूं. मैं तो इसी जेंटलमैन को कह सकता हूं कि 40 साल अगर मेरी फिल्म में फ्लॉप होती तो मैं 40 साल फिर भी गुजार गया. यही आपके लिए जवाब है ना. आप पर्सनली मुझ पे आ रहे हैं ना, आप मुझ पे पर्सनली आ रहे हैं ना. आप कौन है, क्या करते हैं, मुझे पता नहीं है. आपने नेशनल टीवी पे मुझे बोला है और सलीम लंगड़ पे मत रो और ब्लैक फ्राइडे और ये 2 फिल्में बोल रहा हूं क्योंकि आपको वही 2 फिल्में समझ में आएगी, है ना. वो आपकी प्रॉब्लम है, आपकी प्रॉब्लम है ना. मैं 40 साल से फिल्म इंडस्ट्री में सर्वाइव कर रहा हूं और आज भी द फैक्ट दैट आई एम सिटिंग हियर.
No, and Mr. Khan,
आप क्या करते हैं मुझे पता भी नहीं. क्या करते हैं ये जनाब?
No, let me make this very clear. He's a politician, but Mr. Khan, it is not okay. You cannot sit here.
तो आपको मैं जानता भी नहीं आप कौन हो.
You cannot sit here and slander people and mock people. Let's have a civilized debate.
आपको जानता भी नहीं कौन है आप. मुझे तो जानते हैं 10 आदमी बाहर.
I'm saying this again at the outset. Let me bring in Nilanjan Das.
Personal with me.
The idea is to spark a conversation, and surely nobody can be against it. Have a conversation. आज भी it is being shown to universities, to colleges, which are supposed to be the melting pot of ideas. Shouldn't there be a conversation about whether there is radicalization? We can laugh about it, you can be cynical about it, but the fact still is, sir, that people have been arrested, not very far from where we are sitting, in Ghaziabad in Uttar Pradesh, who are radicalizing little boys in the name of playing video games. It is happening. You can laugh about it, you can smirk at it, but it is happening.
And you talk about Kashmir fires, didn't happen. Was it a lie? I did. When I saw the film, I felt उसमें कुछ दिखाया ही नहीं. इतना क्या भड़क रहे हो?
Of course it was a lie. Of course it was. Of course it was overestimated.
Nobody was killed. Nobody left their houses.
Please ask this person to keep quiet.
Please enlighten me. आपके साथ बैठ के मुझे कुछ सीखना पड़ेगा. Kashmir
fires. No, you have to learn the manners of the debate.
What did he say?
Okay, go on. Mr. Das, please make your point.
You don't have to teach us how to debate. When you say that Kashmir files is a lie, I will respond to you like this. I will respond to you like this. I will respond to you like this because you have no right. You have no right to abuse a human rights violation and an act of terrorism. You have no right to lie. You have no right to lie on a television screen and a television studio. You have no right to lie. Who? Why are you lying? Why are you lying?
Okay, Mr. Das, please just go on with your point. Please do not be personal. This is not
ask your
okay.
guests to keep quiet when I'm speaking.
Everyone will be quiet, but please do not be personal. Make your point. Why shouldn't there be a discussion?
Of course there can be a discussion, but you have to understand the context in which the film is being made. Madam Shahadat Halim has clearly pointed out that many such films are being made by this right-wing cabal. And it's right that this suspended person, he is a propagandist of the BJP.
Okay, again you are making personal comments, sir. This is not okay.
Don't interrupt.
This is not.
This film is made for people like you. This film is made to destroy people like you and your narrative. Let me tell you openly on your face that this film is made to destroy your narrative, your cabal, your left-leaning cabal who has destroyed this country for so many years and will find you out. We will take you head on. We will see to it that people like you, your narrative is destroyed and your narrative doesn't exist in this country. We are going to expose you. We are going to expose your narrative and we are going to beat you hollow.
Mr. Das, Mr. Das, again, do you have a point to make, or you're going to continue to try and provoke people, call names to people to ensure that we have no conversation at all? Again, I am asking you, over time, For years altogether, sir, there have been films made where ideologies have been demonized. There have been films made against even communities, where communities have been made to look like fools. There have been films made where Brahmins, money lenders are shown in a certain way. अरे वो देखो, वो तो कितना greedy Brahmin है, वो देखो वो गुजराती है, वो इस तरीके का है. But that is what happens in cinema. The point is, you can have a discussion.
I don't have any problem if it is a work of fiction. But this film says that it is based on real life stories. I have a problem there.
Okay.
Just as the Kerala
is that
stories,
an issue?
Just
that
as
you
the
are not
Kerala
calling it
stories was a
fiction.
fake story, this is also a fake story. Not
What is a fake story?
Listen,
you left cabal. Listen, you person, you are from a left cabal, I know that. You tell me one thing, the way you have addressed me, I am addressing you the same way because you deserve that kind of an address. You are calling a film like Kashmir File or Hoorain or Kerala Story a film which is a propaganda film.
You had a problem with BBC.
Listen. If you can be Mamata Banerjee's person, I can be Narendra Modi's person. I have a right. If you can be a person, if you can be somebody representing a person who's responsible for the genocide and ethnic cleansing of Hindus in Kashmir, I can stand by a person who's fighting terrorism.
I don't need any kind of lecture from
gentlemen.
Don't try to teach me, okay? Don't try to teach me. I know I'm a victim of terrorism and I'm a victim of people like you and your cabal. Who are you?
I'm an actor. I'm not from any
Who
party.
are you?
I'm an actor. I'm not from any party. I did Salim Langde Pe Matro. I did Black Friday. I did Road to Sangam. I did Children of War. I don't belong. I just see scripts. And where I feel that this thing should be said, this story should be told, I do that.
The problem about the BBC documentary on Mr. Prime Minister?
I've not seen it.
Sir, I have said it right on the outside. Again,
But you're
at every such debate, I say at the outset that every single piece of work, till the time it is legal, should be allowed to be watched and people should have a conversation about it. Nothing should be banned.
Gentlemen, you can say boycott this film.
Padmaja,
People will not
I
go.
said the same thing, by the way, even for the entire saffron bikini controversy about the documentary. That
all
being
other
said,
channels ran that propaganda that BBC documentary was a fake story.
No, not at all. I never have advocated for the
You don't
ban
have to justify
of the BBC documentary, but what one must do is to call out, which is what you should do, sir. If you think that this is propaganda, you should bust the propaganda. You should come out with your own facts and say, this is the reason why I don't agree, but you cannot ban it. That being said, let me also remind you that you are sitting here talking of propaganda, where in West Bengal, the Kerala story was banned and the Supreme Court lifted the ban. Anyway.
एक मुद्दा जिसके ऊपर बात चल रही है, बहुत चर्चा बहुत गर्म हो गई, नाराज हो गए, कहीं किसको दिल का दौरा ना पड़ जाए, जिस तरीके से चीखो चिल्ला रहे हैं. हम बात करने के लिए बैठे हैं, चीखने चिल्लाने के लिए. हम लोग सभ्य लोग हैं, पढ़े लिखे लोग हैं, ये अपेक्षा हम नहीं रखते. इन जनाब ने जो बोला है कि ये आपने ये आर्ट ऑफ फिक्शन बनाना चाहिए था, इसको रियल स्टोरीज पे बेस्ड क्यों बना दिया, तो मैं इनको ये एड्रेस करना चाहता हूं कि जिस दिन कोई भी ये बता दे कि आतंकवाद एक फिक्शन है, उस दिन हम उसको आर्ट ऑफ फिक्शन ही बनाएंगे, हम फिक्शन पे ही बनाएंगे. लेकिन आज कौन कहता है कि आतंकवाद रियलिटी नहीं है? कौन कहता है दुनिया का सबसे बड़ा कैंसर नहीं है? कौन कहता है कि दुनिया की सबसे बड़ी बीमारी नहीं है? उस आतंकवाद को आतंकवाद हम कह रहे हैं. ये लोग इतने नाराज है, इतना स्टेट ऑफ डिनायल में, इतना डिनायल कि कश्मीर में कुछ नहीं हुआ, आतंकवाद नहीं है, उसको फिक्शन कह दूं. आप लोग कहां जी रहे, किस चीज में, कौन सी भाषा में आप बात कर रहे हैं? सच्चाई को स्वीकारना सीखिए. और अब जब हम सच बोलने लगे हैं, एक मिनट, अब हम जब सच बोलने लगे, आप सहन नहीं कर पा रहे, आप इस तरीके से चिल्ला रहे हैं कि किसी न किसी को दिल का दौरा पड़ जाने वाला है. जनाब, जरा अपना स्वास्थ्य संभालिए.
सारा शाहली रिस्पॉन्ड.
हो सकता है ऐसा सिनेमा बनाने से. आपको लगता है कि सिनेमा को देख के लोग सुधर जाएंगे?
कोई सुधरने या बिगड़ने के लिए नहीं जाता है, लोग सिर्फ देखने के लिए और बात करने के लिए जाते हैं.
चोरी होनी बंद नहीं हो गई, मर्डर होने बंद नहीं हो गए. बच्चों को स्कूल में मत पढ़ाइए कि सच बोलो, झूठ मत बोलो, चोरी मत करो.
Attack on minorities, and as it is, the minorities in the country find it difficult to get house rent. Now when they watch, when people okay, the right-wing cabal are going to propagate this film, do you think it's going to make any easier who are already being pushed into a corner? It is very, very tragic that these people are actually basking in people's misery.
How?
And making money out of people's misery by showing propaganda and twisted theories.
Ma'am, name me one incident where somebody watched a film, came out and said, because of watching this film, I am not going to give a house to Saira Shah Halim. Name me an instance. As opposed to, let me remind you that in this entire country, there is still...
Why are you talking?
Ma'am, there is still...
I didn't know you live in slums. I didn't know that you don't have a house in this country. Why are you abusing this country? You are enjoying your life. You have the best possible lifestyle. You are enjoying your life in this country, and you're saying that I didn't know you're in a pathetic condition and you don't have a roof to stay.
Radicalism.
Why are you lying?
Just a second.
Why are you lying to people?
Saira Shah Halim...
Are you on roads?
Ashok ji, hold on a second. Hold on a second. If we are talking about intimidation, Saira Shah Halim, you have practiced politics in West Bengal. We have another person who's sitting here, Mr. Nilanjan, who also sympathizes with the party which is in power in West Bengal. As of right now, there are two sets of people who are living in actual fear of their life. One is Nupur Sharma, who has to live under central security. And the second is candidates of the BJP, CPM and Congress who are giving interviews saying that we are so scared we cannot even go into our houses. You are sitting here talking about how Muslims are being intimidated by a film, but you have nothing to say about people who are actually intimidated in this country.
Who are rotting in jail? What about the people who are rotting in jail because they were critical of the central government? What about the journalists who are arrested for doing their job?
See, again, you have to resort to
activists who are arrested on what about journalists who are rotting in jail?
Ma'am, again, you are going to engage in whataboutery. My point was very simple. When you try and browbeat somebody by saying, oh, you are making this film only because you're a hate monger, you are anti-Muslims, you're trying to whip up frenzy against them. What is the proof? Based on what? As opposed to actual proof who are dying right now. People who are dying right now. That is intimidation, not a film, Saira Shah Halim.
Fanning religious hatred in the country. Either
How?
you agree to that.
How?
Either you agree that there is a
What does terrorism do with religion?
that benefits from spreading.
Madam, what has terrorism to do with religion? What has terrorism to do with religion? You answer this question. What has terrorism to do with religion? You answer this question. Don't move here and there. Don't move around the bush. What has terrorism to do with religion? You tell me that.
There's another film that you should promote, that is Afwa. Why aren't you promoting a
Arey, you talk about the youth.
Please watch it.
Arey, we will
Please
watch
watch
it.
it.
You promote it.
You promote it.
मैं दूसरों की फिल्म में promote करने चला जाऊंगा.
Don't give us alternatives. You're talking about Bhattar Hoorain. Let's stick to this film. You want to go and watch it, you go and watch it. Don't teach us what is to be watched.
You know, let's go and
You answer
watch.
my question, madam. What has terrorism to do with religion? This film is based on terrorism. You answer this question. What has Islam to do with terrorism? It's two different things. Religion has nothing to do with terrorism. You answer this, madam. Why are you moving around the bush?
No. Mr. Ashoke Pandit is a known radical.
Okay, again it is going to descend into name calling. I'm going to end it over here. Again, we've had people say, why didn't you do this? Why didn't you watch this? Why didn't you make this? Let every kind of thought prosper, contrary to what some court observations may have been. India has been a fairly liberal country in embracing all kinds of thought, may not agree with it, but at least there is a debate over it. Let's please keep that entire culture that we've had secure, because that is real liberalism. In the meantime, best of luck for your film. We'll be looking forward to see the kind of reception it gets. Thanks very much, all gentlemen. Saira Shah Halim for joining me.
Saira, please go and watch the film.
All right. Moving on now, in a major organizational rejig ahead of